Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and we're actually going to talk about Doctor Who. That's something we haven't talked about in a while because Doctor Who cares. Like, I don't care about this show anymore. It's basically dead to me. I think Chris Chibnall has run the good doctor into the ground, crashed the TARDIS, whatever you want to call it. Not a big fan of the show, but I had a viewer send me some information yesterday. Got to give a hat tip to Martin, thank you, talking about the BBC and how it's no longer illegal, I guess, or you cannot be sent to prison for not paying your TV license fee. Now, this could be catastrophic for shows like Doctor Who, that are funded by license fees, right? Maybe Doctor Who will be too expensive to produce. Maybe capitalism will out, and the BBC will have to produce programming that people are willing to pay for, as it should be, in my personal opinion, being the free market person I am. So we're going to talk about that, the possible effects on Doctor Who. I'm going to try to make sense of the BBC licensing thing from an American point of view. I've had a lot of people try to explain it to me. I'm sure it's not that hard, but it's an alien concept to me that you are forced by the government to pay for broadcast TV. And if you don't pay for it, you can potentially go to prison. What the hell? Why have you guys put up with that? That's ridiculous. Now, here in the States, TV is sponsored by advertising, or in the case of PBS, which I think is the closest equivalent we probably have to the BBC, public broadcasting. It's basically they run a telethon and they take donations. It's like a Patreon TV. And ironically enough, a lot of the programming on PBS, at least historically, has been BBC programming. In fact, my first experience with Doctor Who back in the early 80s was reruns from the BBC on PBS, usually late at night, Saturday nights. They would run Doctor Who reruns. Anyway, I was sent this article from the Express. BBC blow huge losses for the Beeb as TV license fee evaders no longer face prison threat. And we're going to talk about that, and that the BBC is actually struggling with the huge backlog of people wanting to cancel their TV license fees. The BBC faces major losses as license fee evaders will no longer face prison charges. So there's going to be a new government plan. It's basically a done deal, as I understand it. Again, I'm trying to make sense of British politics from across the pond, so bear with me if I don't fully understand what's going on. They added that the decriminalization would be substituted by another penalty that was yet to be discussed. So you're not going to go to prison, but you might have to pay a fine or something. The source said we have to be careful what we replace a license fee isn't worse than what we have. We're talking about higher fines, using bailiffs, and damaging people's credit ratings. We need to tread carefully. So the news comes after BBC boss Tim Davie admitted the corporation has been unfair on pensioners. If you want to watch TV, you got to pay the fee. We've got people here, axe the TV tax. Speaking at a Royal Television Society talk, Mr. Davie said the BBC doesn't deliver equally to everyone, adding there were certain bits of the country that don't necessarily feel the BBC is for them. So yeah, why should you be forced to pay for a TV station that you don't care for or watch, or multiple TV stations rather? Now, according to some articles I've read, they only fine you or jail you if it's pretty egregious and they've tried to reach you to get the licensing fee out of you. I just think it's ridiculous that the government forces you to pay for television like that. That should be something that you should pay for because you want to, And again, I get that cuts out the advertising or whatever, but the BBC is struggling with a huge backlog of customers canceling their TV license fee now. So the BBC has been criticized after some customers struggle to cancel their license fees due to the broadcaster taking more calls than usual. The corporation admitted to the Express that its phone lines were experiencing an overwhelming amount of calls. This has resulted in a backlog of people being delayed as they opt out of paying the annual fee. Rebecca Ryan, campaign director at Defund the BBC, said the online form says customers have to call But then the call system says to go online as all agents are busy. So they're making it very hard to cancel. The BBC appears to be deliberately preventing people from canceling their TV licenses by bouncing them back and forth between their website and call center, neither of which are currently functional. This is deeply worrying. People should not be trapped into paying a license for a service they do not use, particularly when it's under the guise of a public service and categorized as a tax. Imagine if this happened with vehicle tax, there would rightly be uproar. Yeah, I think this is ridiculous. So you can't cancel. The BBC is basically holding you hostage. You have to watch the programming with the messaging, the political messaging that they're giving you, and you have to pay for it. Well, you don't have to watch it, but you have to pay for it. So basically, as I understand it, right, the UK is being forced to pay for shows like Doctor Who that maybe because of the massive decline in viewership would be canceled on any other TV network, because no eyeballs means no advertising. No eyeballs means that the fan base has lessened, which means that the merchandise probably won't sell. But in the UK, you're basically being held at gunpoint to pay for shows like this. And this kind of happens, I guess, with like Netflix and CBS All Access, where some shows are massively underperforming, but they get a reprieve and they get pushed because the subscription fee for the service, pays for all of this content. But that can only go so far. So if Doctor Who were left on its own, Chris Chibnall's incarnation of Doctor Who were left on its own due to the massive decline in ratings, here in the States, it probably would have been canceled. If this were on network TV, they'd be like, oh my God, this show is bombing, it's crashing, the advertisers aren't interested anymore, it's not selling merchandise, let's pull the plug. But since Doctor Who is basically on government welfare, I guess, you're stuck with it for now. Maybe, possibly. It's supposedly going to be delayed until 2022. We've talked about this before because of filming. Now I've heard that they're actually starting to film it now. We've got the Radio Times out there, defending it. Now, to talk about the BBC. So you're forced to pay this fee, and they actually attack fans of Doctor Who. They attack fans of Sonic the Hedgehog. They attack fans of Star Wars. We covered this article a couple months ago when it came out that the BBC puts this out. I'm sure BBC.com is probably funded by your TV license too. And they talked about toxic fandoms. And the whole purpose of this was to be like, don't slam on Doctor Who. It's not fair. Because don't listen to the fans. It's not fair. Well, if you don't like it, just cancel your TV license. But you can't. They give you the runaround. So you're forced to pay for Doctor Who. This is some serious bullshit. I am very, very glad I do not live in the UK. Because over here, we can choose to just turn off our cable. We can cut the ties in cable. We can cancel Netflix. And we're going to talk about Netflix. That's the next video coming up, actually, is Netflix having a lot of cancellations. We can pull the plug on any of our TV if we want to, but or just be very selective about what we fund. But yeah, it sounds like you guys are being held hostage by the BBC. And if you try to cancel, tough shit. And if you try to skip out on paying them, well, they're gonna hunt you down, aren't they? They're gonna make you pay for Doctor Who. So I don't know. Interesting. Here's a tweet again sent to me by Martin. Thank you for that, sir. Susan Ecock Boris says, a friend today told me she canceled her TV license. She phoned up and they refused to cancel it. She then canceled her DD and was threatened with court action. She had proof of original phone call. They backed down. Surely this cannot be allowed to happen. BBC TV license. I removed my BBC app from my phone 3 years ago. Thank hell I don't have to rely on that company for anything anymore. I watch their app all the time and I refuse to pay. I just click yes if asked if I pay the TV tax. I don't and I won't. Watch out. They're going to come get you, Ready Sim. They're going to come get you. There's no legislation or regulation under which you can be forced to pay for something you don't want or need by a private company. No matter what the BBC says, your friend has nothing to fear. Always good to be in control and cancel direct debit with bank. I did this and it worked. I got my Sony LCD TV while still living in Australia. It doesn't receive BBC ITV channels and is streamed to the internet plus subscription to Netflix. BBC programs are very poor and not interesting, including Doctor Who. BBC has too many low-grade comedy programs. Canceled mine and did the challenge. Lasted 15 months. Have a license now. It took persuasion. You have to verbally record to make a declaration or sign form. You get a 24-month reprieve. You don't have to declare anything ever. You're under no legal obligation to communicate with them in any way whatsoever. Well, sounds like they're, I don't know, guys. It sounds like you're being forced to pay this. It's not a nice way to treat people, Susan. It isn't, is it? Same happened to me. Scared witless by their menaces over the phone. The BBC will threaten you. Oh my God, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you giving them money? Why are you letting them intimidate you? It's a freaking TV station, a TV network. Why do they have control over you like this? This is insane. I don't get it. You do realize that, like, we quit Britain over tea. So like we quit you guys over a tea tax. You shouldn't be forced to pay for shitty television, shitty Doctor Who. Nobody should be forced to pay for shitty Doctor Who. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is crazy. I just, again, as an American, I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around this. I didn't even realize until a couple of years ago that it was mandatory that if you're watching TV, you have to pay a TV tax, and that they will threaten you if you don't. Just really, really weird. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.